The crowd started to murmur as the silver Volvo slowly rolled down the dimly lit street. Its false plates gleamed under the flickering streetlights, hiding a sinister secret. Little did anyone know that this mysterious vehicle would become a crucial piece of evidence in a case that would baffle investigators for years to come. As the night faded into early morning, a young man stumbled out of a nightclub, unaware that his next steps would lead him into a web of mystery that would captivate a nation. His friends had already left, and he found himself alone in the bustling city center. With no money and no way to get home, he began a journey that would ultimately lead to his vanishing without a trace. The following day, his family went about their usual routines, completely oblivious to the fact that their lives were about to be turned upside down. It wasn't until late in the afternoon that the first whispers of concern began to surface. Phone calls went unanswered, and a growing sense of unease settled over their small coastal town. As the sun set on that fateful Saturday, a mother's worst nightmare began to unfold. Her son, a young man with a bright future and a passion for music, had seemingly vanished into thin air. Little did she know that this was just the beginning of a heart-wrenching journey that would span years and touch the lives of countless individuals.
Woodbridge teenager has been missing for over 5 years. Luke Durbin was last seen in the quayside area of the town. Today, police carried out house-to-house inquiries.
Our story takes place in the picturesque county of Suffolk, located in the east of England. Known for its stunning coastline, lush green countryside, and charming villages, Suffolk is a place where life usually moves at a gentle pace. The county's largest town, Ipswich, serves as the backdrop for the early stages of our tale. Ipswich, with its mix of historic architecture and modern amenities, is a town where everyone seems to know each other. It's a place where Friday nights often involve young people gathering in local pubs and clubs, enjoying the start of the weekend. But on one particular Friday in May 2006, the usual carefree atmosphere would be shattered by events that would leave the community in shock. Just a short drive from Ipswich lies the small village of Halsley. With its population of less than 1,000 people, Halsley epitomizes rural Suffolk life. It's a tight-knit community where neighbors look out for each other, and where the disappearance of one of their own would send ripples through the entire village. It was in this peaceful setting that Luke Durbin came to life. Born on December 4, 1986, Luke grew up surrounded by the natural beauty of the Suffolk coast. As a child, he could often be found exploring the nearby woods or playing on the beaches, his curious nature and love for adventure already evident. Luke was known for his easygoing personality and his passion for music. He had a special bond with his guitar, often spending hours strumming away in his room or jamming with friends. His talent and enthusiasm for music led him to enroll in a music technology course at a college in Colchester, Essex. However, life doesn't always go as planned. The daily commute from Halsley to Colchester proved to be more challenging than Luke had anticipated. After a year of early mornings and long journeys, he made the tough decision to leave the course. But Luke wasn't one to sit idle. He took on various jobs over the next year, showcasing his adaptability and willingness to work hard. About 6 weeks before the events that would change everything, Luke landed a job at a greengrocer in Alberg. It seemed like things were looking up for the young man. He was earning his own money, pursuing his passion for music in his free time, and enjoying life with his friends and family. Little did anyone know that a simple night out with friends would set in motion a chain of events that would leave Luke's loved ones searching for answers for years to come. Luke's family life was a source of comfort and stability. He lived with his mother, Nikki, and sister, Alicia, in their Halsley home. The bond between them was strong, filled with love and laughter. Luke was known for his thoughtfulness, often surprising his mom and sister by bringing home groceries and whipping up meals for them. On May 11, 2006, Luke's friend Alex, a chef working in the bustling city of London, returned home for a weekend visit. Excited about catching up with his pal, Luke decided to take some time off work. He also invited another friend, Zach, to join in on the fun. With high spirits, Luke hopped on his shiny new motorbike and rode to Alex's place in Woodbridge. He was all set for a night of fun, leaving behind his wallet, keys, and phone at Alex's house. Little did he know that this simple act would later complicate the search for him. For their night out, Luke chose a casual yet stylish outfit. A black and gray long-sleeve collared shirt layered under a reversible plum gray sweatshirt. He completed the look with faded denim jeans sporting a cool design on the side and a pair of brown suede shoes. The evening kicked off with a few drinks at a local pub in Woodbridge. The friends laughed, joked, and caught up on each other's lives. As the night progressed, they decided to amp up the fun by heading to Ipswich, the bigger town with more nightlife options. They piled into a cab, their destination set for Zest nightclub in Ipswich. However, Alex, having indulged a bit too much in the local pub, decided to call it a night and took a taxi back home shortly after arriving at the club. Luke and Zach continued their night at Zest, dancing and enjoying the lively atmosphere. The club was packed, the music was loud, and the drinks were flowing. It was just another Friday night in Ipswich, or so it seemed. As the hours ticked by, the two friends lost track of each other in the crowded club. Zach went to buy drinks, and in the sea of people, Luke vanished from his sight. This moment of separation would be the beginning of a mystery that would baffle everyone for years to come. As the clock ticked past 2:00 a.m., Luke was spotted at the Ipswich train station, a short 5-minute walk from Zest nightclub. Hoping to catch a ride home, he quickly learned that no trains were running at that hour. Undeterred, Luke set off on foot, his mind likely focused on finding another way back to Woodbridge. Around 3:45 a.m., security cameras caught sight of Luke heading towards Hop Express cabs. It seemed he had come up with a plan B, taking a taxi home. However, there was a snag in his plan. Remember that wallet he had left at Alex's place? Well, now Luke found himself in a tricky situation without any cash. The cab company's receptionist, seeing Luke's predicament, suggested he give his mom a call. Perhaps she could provide her bank card details over the phone. But Luke, being the considerate son he was, refused. "I don't want to wake her," he said, probably imagining how worried his mom would be if she received a late-night call. With the taxi option a no-go, Luke set off once again. At 4:00 a.m., he was captured on CCTV crossing Dog's Head Street on a zebra crossing, heading in the direction of the bus station. This would be the last confirmed sighting of Luke Durbin. But here's where things get really interesting. Shortly after Luke was last seen, a silver or white Volvo 440 was caught on camera. Now, you might think, so what? It's just a car. But hold on to your hats, folks, because this car had something fishy about it. False plates reading M206 Lottie. As the sun rose on May 12, Luke's family went about their morning routines, unaware of the events that had unfolded overnight. They assumed Luke had gone to work at the greengrocer's in Aldbert just like any other day. But as the hours ticked by, there was no word from Luke. Worry began to creep in. Calls were made to friends, to his workplace, to anyone who might have seen him. With each unanswered call, the concern grew. By Saturday afternoon, May 13, the worry had turned into full-blown panic. Nikki, Luke's mom, made the decision to report her son as missing, and just like that, what started as a regular night out with friends turned into a mystery that would perplex a community and baffle investigators for years to come. In the days that followed, unconfirmed sightings of Luke began to surface. One witness reported seeing someone matching Luke's description walking near Foxhall Stadium in Ipswich between 7:30 and 8:00 a.m. on May 12. Another claimed to have spotted Luke in a dark blue Renault Megane in Woodbridge the next day. These potential sightings gave Luke's family hope, but they also added to the confusion surrounding his disappearance. Where had Luke gone after leaving Ipswich Town Centre? Why hadn't he contacted anyone? And what about that mysterious Volvo with the false plates? The investigation took an interesting turn in late March 2007. A blast from the past. One of Luke's old classmates from Farlingay High School reported seeing him outside the Aldwych Theatre in Drury Lane, London. This sighting, if true, raised more questions than answers. What was Luke doing in London? Had he started a new life in the big city? Or was it just a case of mistaken identity? Meanwhile, back in Ipswich, the Zest nightclub, where Luke had spent his last known night out, was facing troubles of its own. In December 2006, a patron was sadly hurt in an incident at the club. This led to the club losing its license and shutting its doors for good in January 2007. The closure of Zest meant that a key location in Luke's last known movements was no longer accessible, adding another layer of complexity to the investigation. As the one-year mark of Luke's disappearance approached, his mom Nikki decided to take action in a different way. She teamed up with Valerie Nettles, another mom whose son Damien had gone missing. Together, they organized a special event called March for the Missing in March 2008. The march wasn't just about Luke or Damien, it was for all the missing people across the UK. Nikki and Valerie wanted to show everyone just how many people go missing each year. They also hoped to get the government to give more support to the Missing People charity. The march was a powerful sight. It brought together families who understood each other's pain in a way no one else could. It was a reminder that behind every missing person poster, there's a family waiting, hoping, and never giving up. In August 2011, the police caught two people, a 29-year-old man and a 24-year-old woman, who had been using Luke's details to buy things online. They had been doing this since August 2007, more than a year after Luke disappeared. The police questioned them, hoping it might lead to some answers about Luke, but unfortunately, it didn't pan out. Then, in June 2012, there was another twist. The police arrested a 40-year-old man on suspicion of being involved in Luke's disappearance. They also arrested a 25-year-old man who they thought might know something about it. But after questioning them and searching their homes, the police had to let them go. These arrests and false leads were like emotional roller coasters for Luke's family. Each time they hoped for answers, only to be disappointed. But through it all, they never lost hope. They knew that somewhere out there, someone had the answers they were looking for, and they were determined to keep searching until they found them. In December 2012, a group of talented actors and playwrights decided to bring Luke's tale to the stage. The La Toto Theatre Company put on a show called The Missing at the Etc. Theatre in Camden, London. Fast forward to March 2019, and Luke's face was once again in the spotlight, this time in a very different way. To celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Missing People charity, an artist named Ben Moore organized a special art show called Unmissable at the Other Art Fair in London. Picture walking into an art gallery and seeing 25 beautiful portraits, each one showing the face of someone who had gone missing over the years. Luke's portrait, painted by the talented artist Rue Knox, was among them. It was a unique and touching way to remind people that these missing individuals are more than just faces on posters. They're real people with families who miss them dearly. In April 2020, a TV show on Channel 5 dug deeper into Luke's story and uncovered some information that shed new light on the case. The show explored Luke's past and revealed that he might have been involved in some not-so-great stuff. According to the show, Luke had some connections to groups in Brixton, London, that were up to no good. The investigators thought that maybe Luke owed some money to people he shouldn't have been mixed up with. They even suggested that on the night he vanished, Luke might have been trying to sort out a deal in Woodbridge before he met up with his friends. This new information made people look at the case in a different way. It opened up new possibilities about what might have happened to Luke. But it's important to remember that no matter what Luke might have been involved in, he was still a young man with a family who loved him and missed him terribly. Throughout all of this, the Suffolk police kept working on Luke's case. They've called it one of their most puzzling mysteries ever. Can you imagine trying to solve a puzzle where some of the pieces are missing and others don't seem to fit? That's what it's been like for the detectives working on this case. But not everyone has been happy with how the police handled things. Luke's mom, Nikki, has spoken out about the early days of the investigation. She feels that the police didn't take Luke's disappearance seriously enough at first. She thinks they made some big mistakes and missed out on important clues because they didn't treat it like a serious case right away. In 2010, after a lot of pushing from Luke's family and a review of the case, the Suffolk police decided to look at things differently. They handed the case over to their major investigations team and started treating it as a potential crime. This meant they could use different methods and resources to try and find out what happened to Luke. Even though it's been many years since Luke disappeared, his family, friends, and the community haven't given up hope. They're still out there asking questions, putting up posters, and keeping Luke's memory alive. They believe that one day they'll finally get the answers they've been searching for all these years. And so, as we close this chapter of Luke's story, we're left with more questions than answers. But we're also left with a powerful message about the strength of the human spirit, the importance of community, and the enduring power of love and hope. Luke Durbin may be missing, but he's certainly not forgotten. His story continues to touch hearts, raise awareness, and inspire action. And who knows? Maybe someday, thanks to the tireless efforts of his family, the police, and the community, we'll finally uncover the truth about what happened to Luke Durbin on that fateful night in Ipswich. Until then, we'll keep Luke's memory alive, continue to support his family, and never stop hoping for answers. Because in the end, every missing person deserves to be found, every family deserves closure, and every story deserves an ending.